Hi, and welcome to this lesson on why speed. We're going to help you understand the purpose of projects, and it may be very different from what you're used to. First, the key thing that any project manager should understand is that a project is not about delivering scope. Now, that might be a little bit surprising to hear from a project manager, but the reality is that a project is about delivering benefits to an organization or its customers. And I'll give you the reason why. If I build for you the best software ever, and while I'm building this for you, your organization changes its business model so that software no longer is useful, well, guess what? That software is no longer useful, and therefore the project was pure cost. It's delivered no value. As soon as I release it, all it does is go in the trash can. I've delivered scope perfectly, perhaps, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't derive any benefit. That is an issue that is run into all the time in software projects, as well as other products and services that are developed by organizations. When we begin to understand that the purpose of a project is to derive benefits, we then understand that there are some immediate urgent needs for us to become faster. Now, how can we understand what we're delivering? The way to understand what we're delivering is to think about the project in terms of its capabilities. The capabilities that you're enabling not from the project or its scope, but within the organization itself or within the customer's abilities. So by delivering a capability, the customer, the organization, the buyer can now do something that they couldn't do before, or they get something they didn't have before. This capability change is extremely important because it's always going to be relative and in context. Now, the second part to that equation is understanding whether or not that's actually a benefit to both the organization and its customers. To understand if it's a benefit, we have to take a look at the formula for delivering either performance or reducing cost. So we're going to talk about that in the next slide. But most importantly is that a project is only successful if its return on investment based on the change in capabilities in the organization or in the buyer is positive, and if it can be done sustainably. It is not about delivering scope, it's about delivering benefits on time. Hi. I hope you're enjoying this free lesson from the University of Maryland's Project Management Center for Excellence. If you want to check out more lessons just like this one, click the link in the description below where you'll be able to go to our website on executive project management. There, you can find edX courses, professional short courses where you can learn from an instructor like me, as well as request custom team training for you and your organization. All right, let's get back to the lesson and I'll see you at the end. Now let's talk about how we can model those benefits. The best way to model those benefits is to think about them in terms of return on investment. Now, to get a return on investment, and because of the fact that this return on investment is based on the context, what we need to do is first set our objectives. What are we trying to do? So if I'm trying to get from point A to point B, my goal is to travel, and I want to do so at the least cost and as quickly as possible. Or if my goal is to deliver some new product out into the market, say an application to share images, then the goal is to be able to share those images, and again, at a reduced cost. But whatever that objective is, we need to be able to monetize it. So if part of your goal is to earn profits or do social good, then you need to set all of that on a single objective. Then we need to develop a baseline. This is how well the organization is doing before the project starts or before the customer buys the product. And then we need to measure the change. Have we improved their ability to do what they want to do? Have we reduced their pain? Have we increased their gain? That's what we want to be able to measure. As well as, did we decrease the costs in order to do those things? So the way that we model this is we think about our organizations as having a throughput. That's what their purpose is, to deliver some product or service. That's their throughput. And it usually goes through multiple parts of the organization. Then we also take a look at the cost. The cost is what it takes to deliver that throughput. When we think about a project improving the capabilities, we want to take a look at how we've changed the throughput of the organization and how we've changed the cost in order to deliver that throughput. This is a process modeling technique. If both the throughput has increased and the cost has decreased, then we're definitely net positive. The only question is by how much. In order to understand how much, we divide by the cost of the project itself. Now, it's very important to note that we need to take into account all lifecycle costs, and this can get a little complicated, so you'll see that in the summary notes. But the key here is everything is annualized or amortized. If we amortize the cost, we can compare across life cycles. Now that we have a basis for understanding ROI, we can move on and talk about what the importance of that is for speed. Now let's talk about why speed wins when we use the capability ROI model. And the reason why speed wins is because, first, every capability that we deliver is going to be time-bound. We're going to talk a little bit more about this, but the reality is the only constant is change. And as technology improves, the incremental benefit of adding some technology or some capability into an organization is going to shift. It's always going to be about a comparison of alternatives. Cheap alternatives will come in the future, and the need for those services will decrease or change over time. Then there's also the marketing impacts. The reality is that money is tied up in your project, and you want to deliver that project as quickly as possible in order to immediately start reaping the benefits into the organization. So the longer that a project takes in order to deliver, the less money the organization earns. And we'll dive into that as well in the next lesson. So let's summarize. First, projects exist in order to benefit our customers in the organization. Projects themselves are only cost. They aren't benefit. The benefit comes from the deliverable of the actual project into the organization. Those deliverables are then able to either increase the throughput of delivering services or products out to customers, or they're able to decrease the costs of delivering those products and services. Second, capabilities are measured in terms of their return on investment. That means that we want to take a look at the difference in our performance as an organization and the cost to deliver that performance. And we want to be amortized by the investment cost. And then finally, speed wins because the only constant is change. The importance and relevance of a project decreases over time, and alternatives will pop up that make it less desirable. And also, your project is holding up money or holding up benefits by not releasing sooner. So the market impacts means we want to release faster. Again, we're going to go into more about timing and market impact soon, but hopefully this has been a good overview for you. We look forward to seeing you in the rest of the course. Hey there, did you enjoy that lesson as much as I did? If you did, go ahead and give us a like. If you want to see another one, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, put them below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Moreover, is there somebody in your life who really needs this lesson right now? If so, go ahead and share it with them. I'm sure they'll appreciate it. Now, we look forward to seeing you in the next lesson where you can learn even more from the University of Maryland Project Management Center for Excellence. Thanks so much.